reporter Liz Kaminov. Great to have you on the programme, Liz. What's happened in court today?
So today we heard the closing statements of the defence before the court entered deliberations just hours ahead of the much anticipated verdict. So there are 10 people standing trial. 8 of them have maintained their innocence in their last words. 2 did partially confess, and this is due to their DNA traces being found on the scene. Now, among them, the alleged mastermind behind the heist, Mr. Alma Ait Kedash. He is deaf and nearly mute, and so today he had his lawyer read out a letter on his behalf in which he stated, "I'm very sorry and 1,000 apologies go to my son." Those were his words, but no mention of Kim Kardashian. Now, prosecutors have called Kardashian a seasoned criminal. He has had 5 prior convictions, the earliest one dating back to the 1970s, and in this case he is accused of having recruited the accomplices and sold the stolen jewelry in Belgium. And so another of the defendants, Didier Dubruck, was the one who couldn't make it to court today. He is undergoing chemotherapy, and so his lawyer read out his final message in which he acknowledged the trauma inflicted on the victims but maintained his innocence. Now, the accused 9 men and 1 woman, who are now in their late 60s and early 70s, are facing charges of robbery, abduction, kidnapping and complicity with the assault, and under French law they could face up to 30 years in prison. As you said, deliberations have been underway all day between the magistrates and a jury of randomly selected French citizens who are weighing all of this evidence before the verdict, which could be announced in the coming hours and could close one of the most shocking celebrity crime cases in recent memory.
Talk us through the case with Kim Kardashian's testimony, because what was it, a week ago or so? It was very emotional. She was talking about how the trauma affected her until now. Tell us about that, and also just remind us again what the prosecution are asking for in terms of these sentences.
So in terms of the sentences, the prosecution made their closing statements 2 days ago, and they were asking for up to 10 years in prison for the lead suspect and their accomplices. They urged the court to not be swayed by appearances or age. They're reminding everyone that this group, dubbed the Grandpa Robbers, did pull off a meticulously planned and rather violent heist. They did make off with almost $10 million of jewelry and did leave Kim Kardashian tied, gagged, and had held her at gunpoint. So while many of the accused are currently battling illnesses from lung cancer to Parkinson's, the prosecutor did insist that they should be held accountable, they should face time in prison, and urged the court to balance justice with consideration of their health, their age, and the risk of re-offending. Now, in terms of Kim Kardashian's testimony last week, it was indeed very emotional. The megastar recalled 3 men entering her room on that night on October 2016. And 2 of them were dressed as police officers, and she was packing and she was only wearing a bathrobe, and so she described how scared and confused she was, thinking it was a terrorist attack, and also having thoughts that she could be raped or killed. The megastar also spoke of how that night reshaped the entire way she thought and her life. After that, she no longer posts in real time on social media, she can't sleep at night without full-time security, and she stopped wearing expensive jewelry. So a very traumatizing experience for her. And in one particularly emotional moment in the court, Kardashian was read out a letter from a defendant expressing remorse, to which she said, "I forgive you, but it doesn't change the emotion and trauma which I experienced." And so her testimony is what some may say was the emotional high point of a trial which has drawn huge public interest and reignited debate in society about the toll of being famous and living life in the spotlight.
Briefly, Liz, would you know around you there's a celebrity trial going on? Does it feel like it?
Today, it does not feel like it because we are at the very end of this trial, and Kim Kardashian herself was not present in court. However, a week ago, on the 13th of May, when the celebrity walked up the stairs of the Palais de Justice, it did indeed feel like an incredibly mediatized, very big trial. We recall that the benches on the public's side were completely full, as well as the benches of the press who were following the trial. The court was packed, with many following it very closely. But of course, despite the numbers being slightly less today, the verdict is much anticipated, and this is why the court will be reconvening in the coming hour to await the final decision of the magistrates and the jury.
Liz, good to talk.